I've got like hardly anything prepared, but hello everyone. We're live. It's 4:04. I mean 3:04 where you are, I think, and I'd say only 4 minutes late is not bad for me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, Julie, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for doing this. And I just want to say, if you're happening to watch this on my channel, please go check out Michelle's YouTube channel. She's got a lot of incredible anti-MLM content, and also on Instagram too. So I've learned a lot from her, and I continue to. So I'm really happy to be on here.
Aw, thank you. Well, the reason that this came up, I had sent you earlier, like a Substack post that I wrote yesterday. I actually started reading it, or I started writing it a week ago, and it just kept like, it wasn't fully done, and then I got distracted, and I kept coming back to it, and eventually it got to the point where new news was coming out that was relevant, and I had to like plug it in, and so that's kind of what I was hoping we could talk about today. I guess I could just pull up the article.
Sure. I'll say hi, Potato Supreme, and hi, Monica. Thank you for being here. I had to toggle over from private chat to comments. I'm like,
Oh, to
that's
see them.
So thank you. This was impromptu.
Yes.
We made it happen.
Yes. And thank you for joining, everyone, and you. So
yeah, if you don't know, Michelle has this has a Substack. I don't like is Substack, it's a blog, right? That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very good. So if you haven't subscribed to her anti-MLM blog, it's very good, and I recommend it. It's helpful just to get more information instead of just kind of like the same thing that you just see kind of rehashed all over the place. I know for me, I want to,
thank you.
Like, I'm an activist. I want to like tackle this shit. And she's like plugged into what's going on currently, like with the FTC and different, what regulations and legislation means, because it's still difficult for me to understand. So I recommend checking out her blog too. So there you go.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I think of like myself, like my role in the anti-MLM space as more of like a facilitator for anti-MLM activism, and my content I feel is more geared toward anti-MLM activists and people rather than trying to convince anyone to come over to my side, It's like, I know y'all are on my side. What can we do about it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I have tried to kind of I am in like frequent contact with just I'm plugged into a lot of different, people and groups that that have different bits of news that relate to this in different ways. Like even being part of the SPTV community, like sometimes I will see like something in the comments on an SPTV live stream where it's like, someone had a culty experience in an MLM or something. And I'm like, okay, let me dig into that one, because, or there's a lot of Scientology. Like, I'm sure you probably know this because I know that you've talked to Chris Shelton, but there's so many like Scientology or Scientologist owned like MLMs and similar scams. And
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
oh, girl. There is a Scientologist-owned MLM that actually I think used to be owned by people in Deanna Mark's family from LuLaRoe.
No way.
Like one of the, like, what is their last name? Deanne Stidham, right?
I'm not sure. That sounds right. It sounds right.
Anyway, I'm just learning all about this. But apparently, Roberta knew about it. So I don't know why she's keeping things from me like that. But
can you explain what SPTV is for people that might not know what that is?
Good idea. Yeah, totally. I'm I don't have the, oh, I thought I had different banners on here. So anyway, SPTV stands for Suppressive Persons Television. And basically, suppressive person is what you are declared or labeled by Scientology if you are publicly critical of the church. And it's their way of excommunicating you and disconnect and forcing everyone who wants to remain, you know, a Scientologist in good standing, to disconnect from you completely. So it's their way of like taking their revenge on their critics. So a bunch of suppressive people have really kind of started collaborating together to expose all of this and all of the disconnection and manipulation that takes place in Scientology on YouTube. And there are people who have been doing that for years and years. But like having the SPTV label on it really has like done a lot for like engagement and community building around the cause. And it's so awesome. I wanted to get involved in it just watching it happen. So I made the Discord. So I actually have the SPTV Discord server, which I think I don't think I put a link in the description on this video because this is about anti-MLM, but that's been incredible. And it's been a really great learning experience for like community organizing online. And I mean, hopefully I'm bringing that here too. What's this? MLM is fraud says, I saw something interesting on YouTube. Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard's book being advertised on TV in the mid-90s. You can imagine what Scientologists would have made of that. Yeah, it depends on the book. It might have been them advertising it or not.
MLM is fraud is Glenn too. So shout out to Glenn and Monica. Thank you. Monica's like, we know politics and money will keep MLMs alive. The only thing we can do is educate people and hope they won't join. Get as much content out there so people can see.
Hey, we were just talking about that before we went live.
It's true. You're tapped in, Monica. You're my first recruit to the high altitude potato MLM. Welcome. You showed up powerfully and you're going to impact the world.
Oh my God. Ask me about my posture around high altitude potatoes, bitch.
Right on.
Anyway, so just kind of I wanted to pull this up mostly to refresh my memory about because there's just so much going on in all places and at all times. But and potatoes rule. Yes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Anyways, so the reason that I even started writing this post was because I am subscribed to FTC press releases and like news alerts, which you can sign up for all those things through their website. Or I think what Roberta does for her alerts, like she has like MLM and a bunch of MLM companies and stuff flagged, set up as like Google alerts. So any like news that comes up that way will just be like emailed once a week and like a highlights, you know, whatever. And anything that looks interesting, I mean, let's dig into it. And that's kind of how I look at the FTC stuff. And sometimes they put out some really interesting info that I'm just totally taken by surprise reading, like this. I didn't have any forewarning of this, but I mean, and it's just, you know, it's like a low bar, right? But offering support and offering. So basically, what happened is the FTC has taken steps to announce or to enhance consumer protection by expanding language support for reporting fraud. And also, let me see if I can jump over to the actual press release. They had a list of the languages on here. So these new language access enhancements will allow people to file reports with the FTC in their preferred language when calling the FTC. Among the new languages available are Mandarin, Tagalog, Vietnamese, French, Arabic, Russian, Korean, Portuguese, and Polish. Phew! Exciting. I I think I made a note, like a remark in my post about this, that like it very well could be that the majority of the reason that they're doing this and this advancement just came out is because it's a fucking lot easier now with AI, you know? But on the other hand, and the other highlight there is that they're offering guidance online and in print to consumers and businesses in additional languages, which I'm going to ask the next time I talk to anyone in that officially in that realm, like how can I get a hold of some of these print materials, or do I just print them? Like I want to know. I want more info on that. But what I wanted to focus on, or what caught my eye about it anyway, was just, to me, it's kind of a sign, or like a confirmation, that the things that we're doing are still working. Like every now and then I get that little reassurance from the FTC that some people there are pulling for us. It's also political, but sometimes I need that little reminder that some of them really are very, very much on our side. um anyway, uh and that they're paying attention to our activism, and that's what this tells me, in a way, because I really think that they have taken notice, from um uh the tools that we used on MLM change in that first like commenting campaign in 2022. If anyone watching doesn't know like what I'm talking about with that, like very, very brief overview is that in 2022, the FTC like first they announced their reviewing or considering, new rules or regulations, or what, like they're starting to think about possibly doing something to regulate MLMs. And so it was like, whoa, it was a huge moment. It shouldn't have been, but it was. And so at that point, everyone's question was like, okay, that's great. How do we actually help with that? Because they opened up this proposal to the public and said, uh, give us your commentary. What are your thoughts? And my first thought looking at it was, how do I what do you want me to say? What is this supposed to look like? What questions specifically do you want me to ask? Do you care about my personal story? Do you like, what if am dyslexic? Like, does it have to be written nice? Like, whatever. I had so many questions, and I knew that so many people would have so many questions that nobody would just do it. So I tried to fill that gap back in that time by with the help of a lot of other activists, actually, creating the MLMchange.org website, which had like a comment crafter tool to help people craft their comment. And we did a bunch of like live streams to break down what the questions are really asking in like layman's terms and stuff like that. And one of the things that we did for that was several amazing activists volunteered to translate that website into multiple different languages, including Spanish and Tagalog. Chinese wasn't listed on the FTC's expansion of support, so I don't know, where that stands. But at least with Tagalog and they already had Spanish. But I was just like, this is great. To me, it does indicate that they're watching, they're looking. They noticed that, maybe a few of those comments that came in were in a different language, and they're like, maybe we should support that. I don't know.
And I remember when this was going on, because I was still like fresh out of waking up from being in Rank Makers and Mon8.
All
And
right. This was in like February.
it was painful for me to try to write a comment. And I remember I did a live video where I was doing it, and it took me hours. And it was even like, I remember going onto your site and I could see that there was these prompts, and I could see other creators like going through this too. But it was where I was at, it was still so far out of my reach almost. It was so overwhelming. When you're first out, your brain is fucked. Like, just trying to make sense of what's happened, never mind to like put it down succinctly. in some kind of comment, and the prompts were very helpful. But I just wanted to let anybody that's watching this know that, as this can, this is going to be a resource, this video, in the years to come. There will probably be other initiatives where you can, like, write the FTC or Competition Bureau Canada, or your members of parliament if you're in Canada. And it's okay to, like, know that I don't know what to say right now. It feels like so overwhelming. And that can be a really normal response. So just know that as you heal, as time goes on, as you self-educate, that you'll be able to actually put your words down. I thought, like, when I got out of MLM, I'm still in that frame of mind of, you have to do it, show up, and just do it anyway. You do it imperfectly. But I'm like, I couldn't. It's almost like I just couldn't get the words out because I still didn't really know how to explain what happened to me. I was still learning the language to explain, like, what I had experienced, So sites like yours that you did has been very helpful, and it's still helpful. Like, just seeing how you explain things, you don't know what's going to land with a person. The way I say something might land with someone, but the way you say something, it might be, oh wait, no, this makes sense, So
that's why I love the collaboration. And I think, I think we could all do more of it. Let's just fucking go on each other's shit all the time and just, like, get the word out. I really, like, I need to get more comfortable, like, going live, because half the time I'm sitting here, like, thinking about all the things that I should be, like, spreading on the internet and, like, talking about, instead of, I'm like, cyclically thinking about them over and over. I need to just hit live. But anyway, yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for that. And the link to that website is in the description of my video. And there is, like, I edit it once in a while. A lot of the time, the information at the top of the page on mlmchange.org will be somewhat outdated. Like, I think right now it's about the DSA Day on the Hill, which took place in September. But I do my best, and it's a resource that's there. Another resource that I have is outofmlm.info, which is another one that is more of, like, a database kind of resource. It's not about, like, ongoing new news. It's about, like, why anti-MLM, and, like, why is MLM like this, and how is it culty, and where are the stats, and where are the, can I see testimonials, which we're working on. We don't have testimonials on there yet, but anyone who wants to send me one, we can get them up there. And even, information about I Got Out and other, cult stuff. And so this is one that I kind of just keep the same all the time, just to be a resource. So there's that. But oh yeah, this actually reminds me. I was going to say, so what you are describing as, like, the main benefit of that website and those tools to you, especially as someone who, like, just, was still deconstructing, really, still, figuring out what happened, and, like, how, complicit or victimized you've been, and, the balance of that, and, like, struggling with all of that. And that did you get to watch the entire MLM conference this year?
Not
Like,
not
all
this
of the
year. So I
sessions?
watched portions of it, and I watched portions of it in 2022.
21?
Well, yeah.
22. Yeah, still. Hang on. I want to answer this. Hi, do you think the FTC actually pays attention to complaints made online? So it depends. Most of them, probably not, to be honest. However, that's not me saying don't make them, because it also, like, depends on if you are talking specifically about just, like, making a complaint on reportfraud.ftc.gov. Those from my understanding, and I'm not by any means some kind of spokesperson, I don't have this in writing, but from my understanding, um, those complaints or those reports are cataloged and they are there. And if a suit or something more, if something comes to the attention of the FTC, that makes them want to dig into, a certain company or a certain incident or anything like that, it's extremely vital that like the other victims of these scams or whatever have also been reporting what's happened to them, and that all these reports are like available for them, if that makes sense. I don't know. I wonder though, like if there's a threshold where it will like, flag, a certain topic or website or something if it's been reported so many times. Those are things I still have questions about.
Yeah, and I think like as of right now, I don't believe they do. I believe they really don't give a shit because they are complicit in maintaining the lie that there are legitimate multi-level marketing companies out there. So that said, yes, I will still I'm gonna, what this is about, how to address the FTC directly about MLMs. I've registered for that thing on Thursday, and I've prepared my 2-minute speech to give it. I'll keep going, but I think that it's what I do now is I'm encouraging people to contact, if they're in Canada, they're members of parliament, whatever the equivalent would be, in the US. I've gotten responses that way. I think, the way the FTC works, and historically, was it Dr. Phil that says it's like the best predictor of behavior is like looking at whatever that expression, the best predictor of, what the fuck is that expression? It's like of past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have done nothing. They accepted the judgment in 1979 that Amway wasn't a pyramid scheme. They didn't have to. They accepted that. On their website, they do not make a differentiation between, they make this differentiation between multi-level marketing companies and pyramid
schemes.
And it's so convoluted. They're describing the exact same thing. And they will not admit that endless chain recruitment is a fraud. So that's concerning. However, what do you do? Like, do you not
exactly?
So, I don't know. I'm kind of baffling. I've had it with them, but then also every once in a while I'll send a report. But what I've been gearing up to now is doing for Canada, because that's my country. I've come up with the same kind of stonewall or whatever with Competition Bureau Canada. So I'm contacting my members of parliament now, and I'm watching them in the news, and I'm seeing, especially with Canada right now, there's a scandal going on. There's a number of scandals going on. Arrive Can is one. They'll call it Arrive Scam. And I noticed one of the members of parliament had met with, you had Day on the Hill in the US. We have that equivalent in Canada, and that happened in May earlier this year. And so I had contacted all those members of parliament who had met with the DSA Canada. And now I'm seeing one of them is actually part of this investigation, interrogating people about this Arrive Can scam. And she's really good. And so I'm thinking, okay, but she met with the DSA earlier this year, and I'd already contacted her. So I'm kind of gathering information and watching how these various members of parliament approach and doing things. Meanwhile, I'm still healing, deconstructing, learning more about this government political shit. So then come 2024, I'm going to be more prepared anyway, for when we have the parliament they get to go on Parliament Hill. I'm going to contact those members again, which I've already established somewhat of a relationship with, and send them emails, and I'll follow up with a phone call and give them a heads up, you're going to be meeting with this DSA. Why? It's fraud. So anyway, for Mrs. Eyes, it's so cool that you made. I think it's so important to have these robust conversations where it's you are reporting to the FTC, you aren't. We need to have these conversations, and I'm glad that you've made them, and I'm really glad that you have brought this up.
Yes, absolutely. And I just saw this. I want to quickly. These are kind of tied together. But does the FTC pay more attention when the complaint involves medical misinformation? I really can't speak to that. I have personally, the biggest action I've seen them take against MLMs has been more in the medical misinformation vein than in the earnings claim vein. I think that there are probably, and like I said, I'm not a representative of any government organization or NGO for that matter, but I think that the like restrictions and guidelines imposed by the FDA also would, I don't know, complicate things or make it maybe a little more stringent or easy to go after medical misinformation claims. That's just that's just conjecture. Oh, hi, Japan. Hi, sweet Goth. Oh my God. And then I also wanted to reply to this one. I made a complaint about some YouTuber in an MLM that uses her profoundly intellectually disabled daughter to recruit and sell Lime Life. To me, that is worse than the garden variety recruiting. Yes, I agree, because these YouTube fans are poor, mentally challenged themselves. Oh my God. One look at their team and it's obvious who she's recruiting. It's disgusting. That's really terrible. I'm glad that you reported that. I mean, what else
Yeah,
can you do? Like,
yeah.
God.
Sometimes too, it's just like I look at it when I'm reporting to the FTC, or I write a letter to the member of parliament, and I'll post it in my stories, or I'll talk about it in subsequent videos. And you know what it's like? You hear somebody doing that, and at times you'd be like, fuck it, I'm going to do it too. And that is huge, because I think that's going to erode the base of the pyramid, you know?
Exactly.
Education, like you start having people boycotting, purchasing, we're getting recruited, just signing up for the discount. These things can't exist. They only exist because people keep putting money into them. And
absolutely.
So, yeah,
and I think that it's all, I think everything works to, like, all these approaches work together. There has to be political pressure. There has to be social pressure on regulatory bodies. And while I think political pressure probably has more weight, carries more weight overall, because in theory, ultimately um the FTC's decisions that they make are supposed to be influenced by and guided by the nominated commission members. Like, so they're not necessarily elected officials, but they're put in place by people that we've ostensibly elected. I'm like blah, 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 blah. I'm losing all of my words. But anyway, I think that that's important. I think social media advocacy is important for many of the reasons that you just said, and inspiring each other and getting the word out. There's so many different pieces to it, and it's awesome when we can make them work together while, still remaining skeptical, right?
Yeah. It's nice to have, you know what I find too, it's like, it's really nice to like disagree with things, and it's safe. It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay,
Like,
you know?
yeah. Like, welcome to not being in a cult.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild, right? Anyway, so speaking of the, opportunities to actually make your voice heard by the FTC, this is the section that I wrote about that. So even during relatively quiet months, and I wouldn't, as I was writing this, I was like, this is nothing if not like, okay, I have to specify. This is a very quiet month in the MLM and regulatory world. Like, the rest of the world is on fire. Just putting that out there. But during relatively quiet months in the regulatory world, right? And during the holidays, there are still things that we can do to push the FTC. Hey, it's Cassie Isaac. What's up? And I always do that. I just lose myself because I get distracted, but I guess that's an ADHD
That's okay.
thing.
You were
That's why
mentioning
we're
it's like
reading.
this is a quiet time of the year for regulation and FTC, but there are still some things that you can do. And maybe it was like going to segue into what this new initiative, what they're doing on November 16th.
Yes, exactly. So November 16th, in 2 days, guys. And there's always very little warning for these. However, when I say warning, I mean the press release goes up there. I think they have them like every month. So this is something that we can start here. And if anyone watching is like, this seems interesting. I might want to do this. I don't feel comfortable doing it in 2 days. Well, you can, you know, prepare with Julie here, and then on Thursday watch Julie do it, and then you do it next month. Whatever. Like, yeah. So anyway, as I was writing this, the FTC, sent out their press release about this coming open commission meeting. And this virtual event will open the work of the commission to the public and will be followed by a time for members of the public to address the commission. The meeting will be live streamed, and you can participate in multiple different ways. The first way is to speak during the public comment section. You can register for a 2-minute speaking slot using the form on the website. And I think that link on there is actually wrong. So I'll have to update that. Did you have to look it up, by the way?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I pulled up my resourcefulness and MLM hunness to do that.
I'm so
Don't
proud
complain.
of you.
You
Clearly,
yourself.
Clearly, Mr. Bill Keep was never in an MLM because he did not think of that. He just emailed me about it.
Oh, see, this is the thing. He has a broke mindset.
Oh my God. Anyway, also one thing that we'll go over this in a second. So you can also submit a video comment. I don't even know if this was an option last time. I don't remember it being, but it might have been. It should be less than 2 minutes long. I put a couple of, recommendations on there for how to get them the actual video, because I think on the form, it just asks for a URL. So you can, upload it unlisted on YouTube or public on YouTube, I guess. You can use, streamable, Vimeo, Google Drive, and just share it publicly, and then just copy and paste that link into the form. And basically they said in the press release that if they are running low on time, they may not play all of those. So they'll at least watch them. So there's that. And then submitting a written comment. You can also submit a brief written statement using the form on the website, which, like I said, I'll have to update the description after this video with the, you know what? I think I put it in there. Anyway, I'm just talking to myself now.
I need to put those links in my description as well for people. Sweet Goth says, you'd probably be better at doing the written comment than speaking. And it's actually easy to do. Because when I registered, I followed this, I went on here and I thought, okay, I want to do this public comment section where you're actually going to be speaking. And they says you have 2 minutes to do this. So when I clicked the link, they immediately sent me 2 emails. The first email was a test link. And so I clicked on it, and then I don't know, it's like they have people working 24 hours a day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was such a weird experience. I just remembered that.
Like open exchange or something, and it says you are in a breakout room. And then I was just waiting, and then it loaded, and it was like, hello, you are in this, you are going to register for whatever. And I'm like, yes. And then they tested my audio. I turned on my camera, it all worked. And they said, did you receive the other email? And I'm like, yes. And so it was amazing, how they just double checked it to make sure it all worked. So it felt like pretty official. So it was easy. It was easy to do. And I have written my thing that I plan on reading to the FTC, and I've got this fucker down to 1 minute and 54 seconds.
Amazing.
Because I want to get it. I want to make sure I drill it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well, okay, so we're gonna talk about in a minute. We'll come back to this, but we will watch real quick my little address that I gave from the one last year that I attended. So one thing that I wanted to call out about, see, there I am. One thing that I wanted to call out about this particular meeting is that there isn't actually anything on their agenda that talks about MLMs.
However, you know what I did see that is written on their site, which I'm going to be quoting, is that they have invited the public to share feedback on the commission's work generally and to bring relevant matters to the commission's attention.
Yes, exactly.
Fit into that.
That was the line that I was looking for to back up whatever I was saying right now. So I'm really glad that you just had it ready.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, I love it. So yeah, that's literally what I was gonna say. So awesome. Well, I wasn't gonna say it very well, so even better. All right, so let's I'm gonna play the first few minutes of this so that you and anyone who is interested can get an idea of like how the meeting goes, because this is essentially the same thing, except during this meeting, the topic at hand was specifically the business opportunity rules. So, well, that and like a franchise rule that had to do with pharmacies. So, most of the public comment section was actually like pharmacists talking about their issue. And then I went, I think, first or second with my MLM spiel, and then later Doug had his, and he talked about MLMs. So it's a little disjointed, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, is what I'm saying.
We don't care. We just want to see you anyway.
I know, right?
You know, did you have also a 2-minute max on this when you spoke?
I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, all right.
I think
curious.
I think they might have told me 1 minute. I don't remember.
Mhm.
Let me know if you can hear it once it starts. She hasn't started.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for
Here.
joining us. This meeting will come to order. We are meeting in open session today to consider one item before the commission. Before we get started, I wanted to note that we learned yesterday that former FTC Chairman Michael Perchuk passed away yesterday. Mike was at the FTC from 1977 to 1984, first as chair and then as commissioner. And he really served the agency with a bold vision and a fierce commitment to using all of our tools to the fullest extent to protect Americans. Before the FTC, he served as a congressional staffer, where he helped push through a raft of strong consumer protection legislation, and he really leaves behind.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I just have questions about how the strength of these. She said very strong consumer protection regulations, and I'm like, where?
It's just the 2 words, consumer protection,
Where?
is fun. It's like the trust has been so eroded with the FTC, you know.
Yeah, I can feel that. Anyway,
a true legacy of public.
Do you know who this is, Julie? This is Lena Khan.
Okay, this is the chair.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She's on our side. She's a good one.
Okay.
She's like a, I don't know. I don't know your politics, so I don't know how to analogize. So I was gonna say I'm a leftist, and I was gonna be like, she's like such a lib.
Okay.
I mean, it's not judging me anyway. It's like
Public service that we will strive to continue honoring through our work. So we will, with that, we will get started now by hearing from members of the public, and I will turn it over to Doug.
Not our Doug.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair Khan. My name is Doug, and I'm the Director of Public Affairs here at the Federal Trade Commission. And my colleagues and I at the FTC and the viewing public are looking forward to hearing from all of our guests today. Please note that the FTC is recording this event, and some or all of it may be made available to the public record in accordance with the Commission's rules. Now, I will call on several members of the public who have joined us today, and each person will be given 2 minutes to address the Commission. So without further ado, I'd like to begin with Michelle Carpenter. Michelle?
Woo!
Oh my God. I think it took me like 45 seconds to get my mic to work.
Thank you.
Still muted. I'm not starting your timer yet, though.
I literally jumped forward like 40 seconds. Still muted.
All right, can you hear me?
We can. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, Chair Khan, for the opportunity to address the commission today. My name is Michelle Carpenter. I grew up in a working class family in the Midwest. I grew up mostly unaware of how hard my parents worked to keep a roof over our heads. And it wasn't until I had a child of my own that I really understood how my mom literally would have done anything to improve our quality of life growing up. And it's the same instinct of a mother to want more for her children that led me to multi-level marketing. As you've seen from the hundreds of comments submitted earlier this year on the FTC's proposed rulemaking on deceptive earnings claims, struggling mom who would do anything for her kids is part and parcel to the essential boss babe rags to riches story, and is what many MLMs are preying on. And I say this as someone who's done the preying. In their public comment to the same proposal, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce cited concerns that a new rule regarding earnings claims could negatively impact part-time flexible earnings for millions of Americans. While it is true that millions of Americans participate in MLM, and the hope is that a new rule would make some kind of impact, it would be prudent to keep in mind that according to research done by Magnify Money in 2018 and backed by other studies, the median income, or as the Chamber of Commerce calls it, flexible earnings in MLM is less than 70 cents per hour.
Bazinga.
This extreme inequity built into this system is the antithesis of what I believe this commission stands for: advocating for human rights, protecting and promoting wage growth, reducing income inequality and underemployment. And I'm here to implore the commission to either introduce new rules explicitly devoted to regulating this industry or make improvements to the BOR, including removing the exemption for MLMs, constructing and requiring a standardized earnings potential disclosure, and requiring a waiting period, not a cooling off period, before potential participants can invest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and thank you.
Thank you very much,
So-
Michelle. We are now destroying all MLMs for your speech. Thank you so much.
I think it worked.
Fun.
Like, I did it.
You did it.
Wait. I have, oh no, I think I got rid of my, I had, okay, so you'll totally dig this. I have been fiddling with, I've been collecting sounds and videos and clips for a potential future soundboard. And, but like, I want to take it a step further. And you know, like when you're watching like well edited videos, you know, when you're watching Savvy Writes books, right? And she says something funny, or even if it's not funny, it's made funny by like the GIF that plays right after the little video clip or whatever that is totally relevant and hilarious. So I want to be able to do that during live chats, and you can add video clips in the brand section on StreamYard and then just like play them like
blah blah blah.
Oh, how the hell did you do that? That was really cool.
I know it's. I don't know if you can see it because we're in my StreamYard, but on yours, you'll
try that.
Can you click on brand? Yeah, so if you can click on brand, you'll be able to in yours. But yeah, you can upload those. And I had one that was like it was like the Scientology, the IAS, the International Association of Scientologists, like gala in like 1992 or 3 or whenever it was that their tax exempt status went through or whatever. And like the edited version of the video is like, the war is over. And it's like this big thing. I have a GIF of that, and I use it like every time I like drop the mic on anti-MLM or anything.
Oh my God. I want to get some
it.
capybara action on mine. That's what I want. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe I could even do like Skid Row, or just like I can't wait to play with this now. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome. And you're welcome to all of Julie's watchers, because you will
Bruce,
benefit from this.
I see you there, Bruce Weinberger and Mrs. Eyes. You're also talking about that, what's going on there. And I just want you to know, like, I'm reading it too. I'm just kind of going with the flow of this particular topic. But that's horrible that this is going on. It's disgusting. And this is just typical. This is considered really good behavior from MLMs.
I have a Facebook friend who I met through the mom group that I joined when I was in Beachbody. You know, I went and like friended all of the moms in the group to try and like influence them. But most of them were doing the same thing to me with their own scams. So I've got all these like residual Facebook friends that are just like in various multi-level marketing companies. And one of them is in fucking Optavia and does that, what Mrs. Eyes is describing, with her child, her special needs child. And it is horrendous. Yeah. I hate it. Not with the products, thank goodness. Like there's a line, but with the business opportunity for sure.
or two. It's like, I know as a mom of kids that have challenges, I find it abhorrent. I'm glad I am part of a support group that I know I'll find support, not being roped into an MLM.
Yep. So yeah, I wanted to, like, now that I've refreshed my memory on what I actually said, because I haven't watched that in a year, I did some research on the actual people who were going to be in the meeting. I looked at what Lena Khan is particularly interested in as far as consumer protection goes. She cares a lot about income inequality and wage growth, and I tried to use buzzwords that would resonate with them so that they would actually remember me talking. And these are just kind of like tips, I guess. I gave 3 very specific actions that I wanted to request of them. So that was the other thing,
Awesome.
not just like pay more attention to MLMs, which is important. And if enough people say it, they might, but giving them actionable steps and requesting them is the first step in holding them accountable to fulfilling any of those requests, right?
Having
Like,
people show up, talk, even say the word MLM is, I think it's so huge. I remember when you had posted this, I was still like, my brain was still fogged and I was so impressed. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was like, oh my God, what has she done? This is amazing. And now look at me. I'm just like you one day.
my little Julie.
I'm learning as I go.
Oh my God.
And anybody watching this, you can do this too. And what I did is I Googled FTC November 16th open, and then that came up. And then you can register. So you could join and do what Michelle had done last year, which is go on and have this give a 2-minute speech or up to a 2-minute comment or whatever. Or you can you can just write something down, or you can upload a video of yourself. So you can participate in this too.
And we would love to see you on there. And if not, again, like
No big deal.
I am going to be trying to be more like cognizant of when these are happening, that I'm, letting people know, at least if I'm not, able to be on there myself.
Mrs.
Yeah,
Eyes,
awesome.
my comment is I'm fucking loaded for tomorrow or on Thursday. I can't wait.
Mrs. Eyes, don't worry. I'm the good cop.
I'm the bad cop. But it's like so respectful. I'm boned up here. I got my research too. Let's go.
I'm the one that's like, I can handle sucking up a little bit to people who are a little bit shady, and I'll do the sucking up as long as I know you're going to come in and swoop them.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be nice.
I won't be sucking up.
It's not all compliments, but anyway, I think after I spoke, it was all pharmacy retailers for a little while. So I'm going to jump ahead to like 15 minutes in when they had Doug on, and Doug Brooks, for anyone. If you want to tell everyone who Doug Brooks is real quick, I'll find him.
Well, I don't really know. Like he's a lawyer. So he's had, didn't he go up against Herbalife?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And
okay.
He was in Betting on Zero.
He was on Betting on Zero. He was the lawyer that wasn't he representing a lot of the people who had been scammed by Herbalife? And then, am I getting that right?
I think you're right. He is like a franchise law attorney and expert, and pyramid scheme law expert. I don't know.
He also has an incredible interview on Marco's channel. If you're not following Marco, always Marco. And it's an excellent interview. So highly recommend it. I wanna X-rank maker in the house. I wanna, hey, what's up? What's happening?
Oh, good Lord. Okay, let's listen to Doug. And then I gotta go pick up my son from daycare, but we'll talk a little bit after. We'll just kind of talk about what he did. So,
Douglas,
please
take yourself off mute.
Thank you for hearing me today. I've been an attorney in private practice for over 40 years.
I could
A
have just
significant part of my
let him-
practice involves representing victims of multi-level marketing schemes. I also represent critics of MLM companies who are sued or threatened with lawsuits by the industry. 10 years ago, when the commission promulgated the business opportunity rule, it decided to exempt multi-level marketing from the coverage of the rule. That left multi-level marketing as the only business opportunity in the country that's not covered by a pre-sale disclosure rule. Franchises are obviously covered by the franchise rule, other types of business opportunities by the business opportunity rule, but multi-level marketing is still the Wild West. There's no earthly reason why a legitimate business opportunity should not be required to provide pre-sale, very modest pre-sale disclosures that the business opportunity rule requires, and provide a 7-day waiting period before people sign a contract or pay any money. I have expressed these views in greater detail in my comments to the earnings claims ANPR earlier this year. I will be submitting more comments later on, but I would urge the commission to reverse its exemption of this industry. Thank you.
How
Thank you very
good is
much,
that?
Doug.
Like, he's going any legitimate business, which any, now speaking out now for 2 years for me, any MLM that they all consider themselves a legitimate business.
Mhm.
And like they like to compare themselves to Starbucks or McDonald's or Amazon or Walmart or real estate or insurance or financial services. And yet they want to be exempt from the very rules that all other businesses have to adhere to, which is like disclosing, like, have you been sued? What can you expect being part of this? Why do they need such special treatment? Like this shouldn't even be a discussion. And it's just, I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. I remember watching a lot of anti-MLM content. It's still, I'm like, what do you mean business opportunity rule? Like there's just, it can be so overwhelming just to figure out what this stuff is,
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's about time to do, another series of like, not even deep dives, but just like definitional streams or videos or something, like what's in our toolkit, what are these tools that we do have, even if they kind of suck? Like, what are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Like,
can we make them better? And that's one thing that
Yeah.
I've been working on with Roberta is that not like a lot of, not just Roberta, but she's facilitating a lot of it because Life After MLM, the podcast, is going to be like hosting some of these tools on the website and like, but basically we're kind of working on developing tools to make I need to find like more synonyms for tool, but we're developing apps and stuff to make the tools that are already available by the FTC and the government and political structure, literally everything, like how like make them more user friendly. So basically we're trying to, like, as a middleman, like we're looking at what we've got and how can we improve it. And we know that we're not going to be able to necessarily put enough pressure on the FTC to like change their stupid reportfraud.ftc.gov website to be user friendly. But what I can do is build a whole new one and then work in conjunction with the FTC to have the responses to my form or Roberta's form flow into their database. So that's the kind of stuff that we're working on.
That's huge. And just like even having these conversations, each person on here that you're watching this, or if you like the video, or if you share it, or just leaving a comment, each small action really adds up, because this is just mainstreaming this awareness that MLMs are pyramid schemes, they're commercial cults. This is fraud. It's easy. Endless chain recruitment, it can't exist. It's not a business model.
Yeah.
It's a whole gigantic criminogenic phenomenon.
In that very vein, like I think it's language is really important, and we do need to normalize calling scams what they are.
Yeah.
You
And the
know?
more that we
And
do it, the less fear there is to be doing it, instead of, using the same language that MLM wants you to use in order to like uphold it as a credible
Sure.
business model. Be like, this is fraud. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's not allegedly, in my opinion. You're a fucking pyramid scheme, and everybody knows it. And now, you have more and more people saying it. It's like the cat's out of the bag, just like the
What
cat
are they
is.
gonna do? Sue all of us so that they have to prove they're not a pyramid scheme
Yeah.
in court?
Like,
Please
they're not a
do.
pyramid scheme. And another angle like that I'm going after now is because I'm in Canada. Like I'm a Canadian. I'm going to be like doing a whatever to the FTC. I just think it's ridiculous that it's like at this level. Like really? Like I'm telling you to actually look at your fucking website that says MLM. I'm not going to be swearing during my speech, but you know what I mean? It's like you have to look at your own website and make this distinction where none exists between MLMs and pyramid schemes. But in Canada, according to Section 55.1 of Canada's Competition Act, they very clearly spell out what a definition of the scheme of pyramid selling is. And every MLM operating in Canada fits that. And they have 4 requirements that they have to meet. And I always like most of them hit the 3, but all of them hit the first 2 bullet points. So I've been starting to like talk more like that, just to get that in the mainstream where people are like, yeah, but wait a minute. It doesn't matter if you say my cousin is selling these supplements and it's amazing. It doesn't matter what the products are. It doesn't matter that somebody has had success. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that it's still a pyramid scheme. It's fraud. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yes, I love that. I want to get to the point where that is just like presupposed. That is just the framework from which we are launching,
David Breer has a comment here, and I don't know if you know who David Breer is, but he predates Robert Fitzpatrick, and has an amazing blog up there called MLM The Nightmare. I'm sorry, David, but he's been very supportive. Oh yes, definitely check out his work. He was one of the first people to start speaking out against multi-level marketing, and he contacts regulators, politicians, officials, and has been going at this for decades and uses very precise language to pin down what this is. His one blog post about racketeer.
I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay, that RICO, Racketeer Influenced Corrupt Organizations Act, that was penned by who helped draft this, compared Amway to the mafia. It's like there's parallels to it. And it's like, how is this not, common knowledge? There's just lots of, it really helped me wake up to that additional awareness that using language like it's a business, just like we say, you're not a business owner. On the outside of this, we're like, it's an industry. It's not an industry. It's fraud. Those kinds of things that they're subtle, but they're very important. So anyway, I really recommend David's blog. So
I think Steve,
for all regulators. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. No, I really appreciate that. I'll have to look you up, David. I was just gonna say, I think Dr. Stephen Hassan calls that priming language, right? I think like it's using that, but it might be deeper than that. I think priming is like, when you're leading up to a sale or whatever. I'm not sure.
And, David, I don't ask that question, but I have integrated that. That's all I'm going to say. I'll keep it a surprise. I'll be like posting what I say afterwards. I don't want to show my hand.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I have to wrap this up. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on while we've got a captive audience?
No, there was Mrs. Eyes was going to post a link for your toolkit, but I said yes, but it doesn't show up. I didn't see the link show up, so maybe. Or I don't even know if they can, but I was just like, yes, post any links.
It would be on your YouTube, so like you would probably be the only one who'd be able to see the.
Okay. All right.
The request. Have it go.
I wanted to reference to you had said, Michelle had said Roberta, and so you might not know who she's talking about, but that's Roberta Blevins. She was on the Lula Rich documentary and has a podcast called Life After MLM, and I was on that talking about rank makers and also Mon8. And she's become a friend of mine through all this too. And so another incredible resource if you are looking to get, just self-educate, figure out what the fuck happened to me. If you haven't heard of her podcast, Life After MLM, it's very good.
Yes. Awesome. Good plug. I totally agree. I can't think of anything else. I think this is good. This is awesome. I might even take clips of this and cut it down into tips.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's what to
awesome.
write about or whatever. So, Sedge says, "Oh, Dip, I've seen that doc. She's the dead fart leggings girl." Love that nickname. This was great. Thank you so much, Julie. And I look forward to more collaboration. And then also especially look forward to seeing you speak on Thursday. I may not actually speak. I might just submit a written comment this time because it's a lot. But it's a lot that I'm doing overall. And I think that, if we can intersperse, if we can just drop some people into each one of these meetings, that would be great.
Yes. And I think it's important to, that presence, it's just like in MLM. It's like that. It's like why I pay $20 a month for a fucking blue tick mark on Instagram. It's you purchase influence. It's so stupid. And I like to say that how stupid it is because we have this perception that, celebrity or a blue tick mark is supposed to mean something and it doesn't mean anything, but we make it mean something. And I know a lot of people in MLM, they also pay to have that. So I like to fuck with them too. Cause it's just I know you're just buying this. I'm like, but so are you.
Yeah. Mrs. Eyes says, this channel only has the one video. Please watch it. It's a short. The channel is called No2 MLM. I'll definitely look that up. If it's a short, I will look it up before I even go pick up Otto, which is what I have to do now. So again, thank you. And thanks everyone who stopped into our live, and we will talk to you again very soon.